Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda Mae and this is my channel Ardith Design, where we celebrate all things counter cross stitch, sustainable stitching, and making all the things. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, I'm so happy you came back. I've got two pugs on my lap and a bunch of fully finished goodies to show you in my little cross stitch corner of Maryland. It is gorgeous outside today. The sunflowers continue to bloom. It's a lot cooler, so the heat index isn't a oh my goodness, it's more of a tolerable and I am excited to talk to you about my stitching. I have just one project that I have been working on that isn't done yet, but I have fully finished goodies to show you, and we'll talk about my 2-year Flosstube Anniversary giveaway winner. And at the end, I will not be talking about stitching at the very end. I'll just share a couple things if you want to stick around for that. And I'm just so happy to be here. I want to say it's mid-August 2020. And things are in full swing as far as tomatoes coming to bloom here, all the things. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. I am so excited to show you the progress on these things. So I'm just going to get started. I'm petting two dogs right now, hoping they don't start fighting. In honor of the sunflowers, I have been working on my bouquet of sunshine. I am doing just that section right there, the 3 sunflowers. This is out of an old edition of the magazine, the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, and it's the July-August issue, 1992. It's also available in book form in the 101 best designs from the cross, I can never say it right, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. I'll have that linked below. I didn't originally want to do the full sampler, but after my 3-year-old helped me dye this fabric with highlighter pen, it might happen. But as of right now, I have a little bit more of this foliage done. I added more greenery here, and then I got to add this purple, which is a periwinkle, which I absolutely love, and I'm so happy to finally get that little bit included in this. And it was rather serendipitous that I started stitching on this periwinkle because my son brought me in a little bouquet of flowers. Well, I have the sunflowers and they were so heavy it toppled over with the rain, and then we planted wildflowers, and look at what he brought me. Look at that. So he put a couple of the wildflowers in, and then here are the sunflowers. And I have it in one of my ball jars that I got from my husband's family. They brought them to me from Wisconsin. So I've been decorating with my blue ball jars. So here we go. I feel like my dreams and stuff's coming to fruition here. I am really excited about working on this project and finishing it. I've got that one sunflower done. Here's that stain that the kid helped me with. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep plugging away. I enjoy it, and we'll see what happens. I'm stitching it on a 32 count linen with all the called for thread. And yeah, I love it. Okay, I'm so excited to show you all of these finishes. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to set everything down because the pugs have decided that they want to hang out too, don't you? Here's Luna Moon. She is feeling particularly feisty. There's a groundhog in our garden, and oh, they haven't been really wanting to go outside because they never know when they're going to see this groundhog. I tried to videotape it, but he's too fast. He's getting into my tomatoes. I say these little pugs are not very good watchdogs, but they're adorable, so we'll let it pass. Yes. Yes. Okay, my first finish I'm going to show you, fully finish, is I got inspiration to put this on an easel thanks to Little Yellow House Crafts. She did an easel finish recently, and I thought it was really cute. So I need to adjust the magnets better. I thought I equalized them properly, and I did not. I tried to just attach something and it didn't work. So here, let's pretend, look, it attached back here. So let's pretend that I had these magnets on properly and aligned properly. So this is, for some reason though, it's not attaching right, so it's kind of off center. But this piece, I got this at a thrift store, just like a little easel thing, and I put those rare earth magnets down, and I used E6000 glue and attached them down. And then I could not find my metal washers that you use to attach, so I ended up just using magnets on the back, and I tried to line everything up the equidistant and have everything, and I didn't line it up properly. So I think I'm gonna have to figure something out. This fun piece I got a couple years ago at Wonder Book in Frederick, Maryland. And it was in this old frame, and it was all like dusty, rusty, crusty. And I paid $5 for it. I took it out of the frame and I gave it a bath. And that was actually a very controversial video. That's one of my least liked videos in my whole collection of Flosstube for the last 2 years, was cleaning your cross stitch, which this piece, it's on an 18 count Aida, and I don't know if you can see, but it still has the marking from the masking tape that got set on it. So I washed it, dried it, and then set it aside for over a year, and I finally pulled it out because I'd considered putting this on a pillow or a project bag. And then I decided, no, I want to have it out for seasonal fall decor. I was inspired, of course, by country stitchers. Deb and Liz, they helped spearhead the farm scene. I know Farm Girl stitched it. Liz stitched it? No, Deb stitched it from Country Stitchers, and it's a farm scene. Really cool. It had been out of print, and then enough stitchers sent in requests to Dimensions. Dimensions is a US based company, and they re-released it late last year. So this whole idea of the farm scenes and stuff have been on my mind. So I thought, well, since I'm not stitching that Dimensions kit, I can put up one of my Save the Stitches for this autumn. What I really love about this piece is this is full coverage. I mean, full coverage, and there's back stitching, and I don't feel like this, it looks timeless to me. I don't feel like it's dated at all. It's on an 18 count Aida. I stretched it, and I used the double-sided stitchery tape. I didn't bring it to show you, excuse me. But what I did was, this is that matte board, chipboard that I talked about last video or a week or so ago. It's black on one side, white on the other. I got it from clearbags.com. They have a lot of different weights. It's acid-free. I put the double-sided stitchery tape on both sides, pulled it through, and then I did the same thing. So if I wanted to take this off and maybe make a project bag in the future, I can. This isn't set in stone per se, and I kept stretching it and kept working with it after I had pressed it down, and this is where I got it to, and I think it's so nice. So it's fully finished in a sense, but like I said, I need to work a little harder at getting my magnet, getting this stuff even, and I would love to find some sort of floral or the decorative picks or foliage to put here and have this. So maybe if the foliage came down on both sides, you wouldn't see that it's off center. But that's one thing I do not have, and so I'll just have to make the best of it for right now. Okay, the next fully finish I have I did have foliage to make this a piece a reality. So here we go. This is my next piece. This is fall. Now, you were all so kind and helped me play matchmaker on this pattern last year. This pattern was almost completely done except for the border. It was missing stitching. You all helped me correctly identify the pattern. I found the floss that matched, and I completed the stitching down the one side. Now this pattern does have, this whole thing was filled in the pattern, and there's like motifs up in the corners. I liked it as is. So I finished it up. This is a save the stitches, by the way. I did not stitch all of this. I just finished this little corner. I gave it a bath. How I give baths: tepid water, Blue Dawn dish soap. Submerge in, out, in, out. Do not wrinkle, do not do anything, don't twist you don't want to crush your thread. So in and out, and then you rinse it with cold water, and then you lay it flat on a towel. There's a chainsaw next door going, so the dogs are starting to get upset. Excuse me for the chainsaw. So you can lay it, put it on a towel, and either roll it to help take some of the water out, or just lay it flat to dry. So I had done that with this piece, and then once again I put this away. I was gonna make it into a project bag, and the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, I have this frame, I got it from Joann's, and it says home full of happy on it, and I wanted to put something, so I again used that chipboard. I used the double-sided stitchery tape, and then I glued this down after I had ironed this with a hot dry iron, and centered, measured out, and with Aida, I like to fully finish with Aida so much more than I like to fully finish with linen, because the Aida, you can really see when you're working with it. You can see your lines, and here I made it so it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the squares. This is on a 14 count, like what would you call it? It's not an oatmeal, it's like a brown beige. Oh, so anyway, I finished it with equidistant on all sides, so you don't need to have your little measuring thing. And then I attached the floral pick of the apples, and I'm ready for apple picking season. It's just around the corner. All right, so that's my second fully finished. Again, I did a save the stitches, completed the stitch, cleaned it, and then fully finished it. So you don't always have to think about just your stitching. You can think about things that you find at thrift stores, things that maybe are given to you, gifted to you, or what have you, to display in your home. I do need to write on the back of these pieces, though, that they were not stitched by me, and let's say where I found them, because it's been a year and I already forgot where some of these things have come from. So I have to remember to do that. Let me move some of this stuff, and that chainsaw. Oh my goodness. Okay, love living in rural Maryland. You hear the lawn mowers, the tractors, heavy farm machinery, and chainsaws. Okay, the next piece, I am happy to report that I have not only a finish, I have a fully finish. I finished this last night around 9 o'clock. The kids stayed up late. We stayed up, and I fully finished this. This is Birds of a Feather, Remember Me. I got my pattern copy from Trish at Threads Entwined, but I know that Theresa Kitten Stitcher has this in her shop. She carries Birds of a Feather charts. So I did not stitch him. I just did the top here. I did a thread conversion down here on the houses are in the 12 weight acrylic. And then, well, let me just show you. I'm over here talking it up. Let me just show you. Woo! Okay. this is my witch, and I finished her, and I love her. Yay! She is stitched on 14 count Aida that I dyed myself using Rit dye. It was a combination of like the red and the fuchsias. I decided not to stitch the words above the witch, and I added buttons, and they are the natural little buttons. They're called like Dress Up. The brand is Dress Up, and they're called like micro buttons, micro stars. The witch herself is stitched all in Sulky 12 weight cotton thread. And then I had done originally a test stitch of the acrylic, the Filine or Filine. I always want to say Filine, and it's not. It's not Bambi's girlfriend. It's the acrylic thread, F-I-L-A-I-N-E. So this is with one strand. And then I was just going to stop at that. I added all the buttons, and then this frame, had glass and a mat. The mat was dirty, all that stuff. And I said, oh my gosh, this will fit in this frame. Is it my number one be all end all most favorite frame in the world? No. Did I have it in my stash and I'm homebound and it was free? Yes. There we go. So I am happy with this, given my limited mobility and budget. So I couldn't be happier putting those things together. Again, this is all the acrylic thread, and I did not have an orange acrylic. I only have like 8 colors that are the acrylic. They have a full line. They have over 50 colors, but I personally only own 8 of the colors. So I did not do the orange or the yellow that was called for in the roofs, you know, those things. So I ended up adding more of the green and the blue. I kind of wish I would have done the orange, but it's okay. I would have had to do it with the cotton, and then I would have had to do, for coverage reasons, 2 strands to mimic. So here we are. I'm happy. In the back, I had taken the glass out, and it had a foam core board already from the previous project. So I stretched and laced. I did lace this project. I stretched and laced it and put it in the frame. And then it had these weird, the frame had these weird metal pokey things that I pointed, like sharp. So I used pliers, I put them all down, and then I used a piece of acid-free scrapbook paper, because this frame is exactly 12 inches across, which is what most scrapbook, like the big book scrap papers are. And I cut it to size, and then I used the Aleene's tacky glue and tacked it down in. I need to go back through it. This originally, the orientation of the frame was here. I had cut the wire that went across, but it still has the original thing here that I need to take out. I can either display it without hanging it. I can add one of the sawtooth hangers here. I can do something, but I'm happy with it, and it's ready for Halloween. And again, I could not be happier with this piece, given that it was really amalgamation, conglomeration, hodgepodge, if you will, of testing out different threads, different coverage. Like the hat was 2 strands, but her dress was 1 strand. This is acrylic, this is acrylic. My dyeing skills with the 14 count Aida, mixing 2 different colors of Rit dye, using a frame that I had on hand. So all of those things put together, I feel very good about this. This is my second project that I have used. Like here, my Prairie Schooler Flower Fairies. This is the second frame that I have used that I modified a pattern in order to use the frame. That was a thrift store frame. This is a thrift store frame. It was in the budget and here at home, and so there you go. So that is my third fully finished piece. The next one, dun, 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 number 4, my autumn dream. I am so excited to have this finished. I stitched this on a toasted almond 32 count linen with all the called for DMC, but I had purchased it and it had a very small like an inch to finish it with, and I was very nervous about what to do. So I am happy to report that I figured it out. Here we go. Here is my fully finished dream number 11 from the Cottage Garden series. As you can see here, I was able to fit this in an 11 by 11 frame that I ordered on Amazon. I will put the link below. It came with glass. I took the glass out. This is what the back looks like. I cut a piece of foam core to, it's not 11 by 11, but it's like 10.9 by 10.9. I mean, I just brought it in just enough so that I'd make sure it would fit in. What I did then was I laced it. I used one strand of the 12 weight acrylic, and I used not a tapestry needle, but I think I used just a chenille needle because it has the sharper end, and I laced it and stretched it, and this is where it is at. I did not wash this piece when I was done stitching it. While it is all in DMC, I didn't do it. I really enjoyed doing this piece. When I look at it, I don't see all my mistakes. I'm proud of myself. I am. So this has confirmed how much I want to get my other bird stitching done and get a wall up of my birds. And I really like birds. So here we go. Like I said, I couldn't be happier. There's just a 11 by 11 frame and it fit right in. I know that all of this pattern, her series, the Autumn Dream by Cottage Garden Samplings, all of them are 159 by 159. So just to think about that on a 32 count fits in an 11 by 11 frame. So, which is pretty standard. This was under $15 US dollars. So under $15 free shipping for me to get this frame. So I'm very, very happy with it. Okay. The piece de la resistance. Well, I don't know. I can't. You're going to have to tell me which one is your favorite fully finished. Autumn Dream or this next one. I don't know, man. I love them both. Okay, are you ready? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is, I'm pulling the magazine. This is Barbara Anna's. It was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine for summer 2020 down there. She finished it in a hoop and it is absolutely delightful. Originally, I was going to put this in a small little red frame. Yesterday, I'm ironing the piece. I'm about to cut it off the larger piece of linen. I'm ironing the piece and I mark exactly 3 inches here, 3 inches. So I have 3 inches all around. What I do, I don't pull out the individual thread and then cut. What I do is I lay it down. I use my white clear acrylic quilting ruler, lay it down and find that 3-inch mark. Then I take my pins, my sewing pins, and I go over that 3 inches and I make a pin, and then I go up another 3 inches and I follow that line straight and I pin all the way down. Then I take my scissors and I cut, and that makes sure that I have exactly a 3-inch margin. It also makes sure that I don't cut my linen cattywampus. especially when you iron the linen, it doesn't always, it can shift a little bit, so that if you think you're cutting straight, but really you're cutting at an angle. I will say that it takes time. So I lay down a flat, I lay down a white towel on my ironing board. I lay my piece down, you know, and I iron it, and then I lay down all of the pins and cut. So I had to make a cut on both sides because I stitched this in the corner. So I did all things, and then I pull out the red frame and I go, you know what? My Flosstube friends were right. I need to paint that little red frame. It's too red. And this, she designed this. This is not red. That's a copper. It's a copper brown, but it reads as red. So I'm like, oh, I got to paint the frame. I got to do all that stuff. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see this frame. This frame had glass. It was $5 at the thrift store. I originally purchased it to frame my Blessings Be Thine by Blackbird Designs out of the Home for the Holidays book. However, once I finished Blessings Be Thine, it's a 1/2 inch too large on all sides that it would not fit in this frame. Woe is me. Well, I love this frame. So for $5, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it will fit in this. So what I did, I laid it down. I used the mat board again, from Clear Bags, and then I stretched it. I lined it all up, and I used my measuring on all sides, and then I laced it again with my acrylic thread. Several people I know use upholstery thread because it's thicker, and when you're pulling to get that tension to really tighten your stitching, it doesn't just break. So if you don't have upholstery thread, you can consider that 12 weight thread for Sulky. I have been using just the cotton, but then I thought I'd just try the acrylic just because, I don't know, I like to try new things. So I laced, this was all laced, and then I put it back in the existing with this. So thinking I'm gonna put some decorative paper over here and then put that label down saying this is, you know, Patriotic ABCs by Barbara Anna Designs, stitched by moi in 2020, because I did not date this piece, but I love it. So you have to all tell me, okay, which one you like more. Which one's your favorite finish? Is it, can you tell I like birds? Is it the eagle or is it the pumpkin house? So tell me. All right, so those are all of my finishes. I had a finishing little party of one finishing on Monday. Oh, and I'm about to drop stuff. Okay, let me move some things. I have 2 sleeping pugs. I just woke up a pug. Woo! Kicking the things. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, everyone. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the giveaway. I had over 140 people comment. Out of that, I had 66 people who were public subscribers. And so I did the filter for my public subscribers and the word kitten. That was the word. And so from 1 to 66, and I counted from the bottom, which was the first comment, up to the top. It was the last comment, number 66. And by last comment, I mean the most recent comment that came on my thread. The number I pulled from random, I asked Siri, I said, hi, you know, can you pick a random number between 1 and 66? And that random number was number 32. And that turned out to be Doxy Stitcher, Angie. And so Angie, I let her know that she was a winner already. Yay, congratulations. So that is a $50, ooh, what are you doing, little pug? $50 gift certificate to Kitten Stitcher's website. A lot of you were very kind and told me how much you enjoyed her store. I am not affiliated with Theresa in any way other than loving her Flosstube, being in her zine, her her samplers yesterday and today zine that she put out a couple years ago. I do have a design in her online magazine, which is still available for sale on her website. I have never met Theresa in person, but I hope one day to meet her. And I love that she is celebrating the joy of stitching. Last year she did Sampler September. I'm not sure if this year if she's going to be doing Sampler September again. But I just really appreciate her matching my giveaway. I said $25 and she said I'll match that. So now it's $50. So thank you all for letting me know about kittens, whether you love them, don't love them, allergic to them, what have you. I really appreciate it. It was really fun to read everyone talk about them. And many of you have your little angel babies in heaven that you've lost. And as you know, I love my animals. So sending lots of love to all of you. Okay, I have another fun thing to talk about, and that is I got a wonderful thank you card in the mail from a previous giveaway. I had the giveaway that was the book, the floss, my pattern, Saltwater Taffy Terry, and I got a beautiful thank you note back from Vonda. And y'all, she stitched me a bookmark and it's gorgeous. You ready for this? Look at this. She stitched it and it says, oh, and I'm holding it upside down. Oopsie daisy. It says, I matter, my stitching matters, and my name, Amanda Mae. She stitched it on a 14 count oatmeal Aida. And it's a really beautiful variegated floss, and it's the tones, it goes from like a brown to a green. And she was so kind to stitch this. I matter, my stitching matters, and a beautiful note. And I want to thank all of you who have told me that you appreciate hearing that, and I want to know that it was equally lovely to get something back to remind myself that my stitching matters too. So thank you, Vonda. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your stitching kindness. Okay, I want to share a little bit, and I swear I'm tying stitching into this, I promise. I am embarking, as many of you know, on the homeschool journey and for my children, and I was doing some research on what books to get for my children, and one of them was, I'm going to show you the book, and then I found a project to correspond with it, a cross-stitch project. So let me show you the cross-stitch project first and then show you the book. Or should I do it the other way around? I don't know. Bear with me here. Okay, so the book, yes, I'll show this first. The book is Sophie Scott Goes South. And it's beautifully illustrated. I checked this out from the library, and it's all about Antarctica. And it has been a really lovely book. And so in the book, there's also the discussion of all the different types of penguins that you can find down south. And in some of the magazines that I have this New Stitches magazine. Oh, these are older back issues that I got a couple years ago. I don't have the complete collection. I just have some of them. And inside this issue here, and it's number, the Host of Christmas Stitching. It's not telling me what issue it is. Anyway, on the front, you can see there's a little penguin there. So I thought that was really cute. It's called King and Son. The king penguin is native to the Falkland Islands. So obviously Falkland Island. Yeah, anyway. So is, you know, tying in books with stitching. And the next one is a 2-part pattern out of the New Stitches. So this is issue 56, and then it says, so this pattern I'm about to show you is over 2 issues, so 56 and then issue 57. Yeah, I don't have issue 57. So this is they're saying this is the project. So you can either stitch the individual penguins like on cards, or you can do the project, and this is what the complete project looks like. But all the penguins are over the 2 issues. So all the different ones. And it's called Penguin Paradise. So what they're saying is, believe me, in this one issue, there's plenty of them to stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different penguins in this issue 47, and then the remainder project here you can find in the other issue of Cross Stitch. So this was really fun, you know, to try to talk about, I don't know, linking books and places and things, and maybe flowers. There was a really beautiful mushroom bell pull that is in one of the volumes, and I just got this book, The Nature Anatomy, so I thought it was really cool to look at, you know, look at this mushroom, and then look at the mushrooms we're finding out in real life, and then look at the illustrated mushrooms and integrating all that stuff, and you know, butterflies, Kathy Barrick and her moths. So there's just some really cool stuff. All right, I've digressed from stitching, so if you're done with stitching, if you're done talking about cross stitch, I will say see you later. If you want to hear a little bit more, here we go. Okay, so September 1st is the first day of homeschool, but we are doing activities. I'm doing art projects and walks and nature stuff, and of course, checking out from the library. Here in Maryland, they're offering where you can order your books online, you know, like say what you want, and then when they become available, you can get a text message that says, hey, your book's available, schedule a pickup time. You schedule a pickup time, and then they go and they have your bag of books there waiting for you, and you go and pick them up. You know, all you need is your library card. I know Howard County, which is next door to me, they just instituted their fine free library, fine, F-I-N-E free. So what they're doing, because of everything happening, they have joined a consortium of libraries that are waiving the fees, meaning if you have outstanding balances where you have late fees that is deterring you financially, where you can't pay the fees, but you still want to have access to books, they're taking away everybody's fees to allow people to check out books. So that's Howard County, which is next door to me, but still not Carroll County. However, I love that while the libraries are physically closed here in Maryland, we still have access to good books and literature. So just look at your county, in your principality, your area, about different craft books, picture books, all the books you can. The next thing I want to talk about is, it is peach season here, and I did, for the first time since March, I left my home and went peach picking at the farm at a pick your own peaches. You had to wear masks, totally fine. Made a lot of masks, so I had plenty to choose from. And we went and picked peaches. We harvested onions, and we picked tomatoes. The kids helped pick the peaches, which is amazing. The kids did not help with the onions, nor they were too tired by the time we got to the tomatoes. So Mama picked those. But I wanted to share with all of you my love of Valentine's Day, right? And cutesy wootsy stuff. Well, one of the things that I love to say is, I love you, a bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck. A bushel and a peck. For many years, I thought a peck was like a peck on the cheek, a peck. I want to show you officially what a peck is. It is a unit of measurement. So I picked a peck. like a peck of pickled peppers. That should have clued me in, right? No, I picked a peck of tomatoes, and so a peck, a US peck. And I measured this because wouldn't it be fun to have a project bag the size of a peck? 13.5 inches by, 13.5 by 13.5. But it has the flat bottom. So if you were to take that flat bottom part out, it's 16.5. So 13.5, 16.5, and make a peck. Then I thought, should I design something that says, I love you, a bushel and a peck? And then put it on a cross stitch. See, this is, it's like I snowball with the ideas. So a peck is how much tomatoes I got. And a bushel, I did not get a bushel of peaches. Number one, I couldn't carry it physically out of the fields. My husband, he carried one, and peaches are flying everywhere, falling everywhere. But a half of a peck this is a box. This is a representation of a half of a peck. And I had to pull those peaches out. So 2 of those would be 1 peck, or 1 bushel. Already getting my words wrong. A peck, half a bushel. You can also get half a peck. The things you learn. I am grateful for, I'm not grateful for that chainsaw if you're still hearing that. But I am grateful to all of you. Thank you for encouraging me to plant sunflowers. And now I'm enjoying them in real life, not just on linen. I want to thank all of you for coming on this journey of cross stitch with me and parenting and all the things. I have to hold the puck. Okay. I want to say thank you to, I hope you all know that I appreciate you. I hope that you know that you do matter, that your stitching matters, that your art matters, and that in these troubling times, don't let anybody take the joy of stitching away from you, because you deserve all of the love and happiness and joy that your art brings you. And if you don't stitch, just if you stitch and do other hobbies, those are equally valid and valuable too. All of your art matters, and whatever you're doing that enhances the quality of your life, whether it's mental, all those gushy things, you matter. So, okay, I hope you have a beautiful stitching week. You can always find my designs at ardithdesign.com. I have been on hold with some of my releases due to supply issues, which, as you all know in the world, with right now, that's okay and understandable. I'm still making videos even if I'm not putting out new designs. But I do have designs if you want to go to my website. Boo Bees Apiary is available along with others. I also have books and all those things. And if you want to support me by watching my videos, commenting, buying a pattern, great. And if not, I hope that you know that I appreciate your viewership and hanging out with me. So again, happy stitching, and I'll see you soon. Much love.